And we're continuing our discussion on this cybersecurity framework. We are again breaking the framework down one control at a time, trying to add clarity and really just put it in in plain English what these controls are really asking for. Control PRIP2, which is protect information protection, the second control in that grouping. It is exactly what it says it is, and that is the control reads a system development lifecycle to manage systems is implemented. So commonly referred to as SDLC. Um, a lot of people have maybe some of our smaller clients may have the misconception that this is strictly relates to if I'm developing my own software, meaning I'm writing code. And I don't know any clients that we have that are writing code themselves these days. But what I really break this up into is an SDLC is a very structured approach and is one that I would look for if it was a major system upgrade, major system implementation, contrasted with a smaller change to a system, a smaller upgrade, a new release that is not a complete overhaul. May fall into the category of a change management process, which is still structured, but not to the level of an SDLC. An SDLC is, like I said, very structured. What we're expecting when we look there is that they have a policy in place, that they have laid out, hey, this is the framework we're going to follow, and everything from the planning phases to the multiple versions of testing phases, not just testing, but unit testing, integration testing, regression testing, acceptance testing, all of these formalized buckets that are maybe on the surface seem like, oh, wow, do we really need all that? But when you really get into it, they're critical. And they've again, I've lived that in my life of implementing softwares. And when we look for evidence for that, there could be different kinds of evidence, but I've shared with my team that one thing that would be great is if the client is utilizing some kind of project management software, and they may be able to run a report that shows, hey, here's our timeline of how we went through each of these pieces, who was assigned to it, how many hours did we spend in that phase. That kind of thing might be a great way to evidence that a client is going through the phases of the life cycle, the software development life cycle. So hopefully that adds a little bit of color to it. I know that we have a lot of clients that are smaller, and I just want to make sure that they're thinking about, hey, look, if we're going to have a major implementation or a major upgrade, we really need to take this to another level. And that's what the framework is basically trying to bring the entity to, is recognizing, okay, this is a bigger deal. There needs to be more structure and to highlight its importance. Hopefully this was helpful and gave some clarity, and we'll move on to the next control.